I'm coming to you live today because I just heard some just horrific news. We just came off of a mass shooting in Buffalo and are recovering from that. And as I turned on the news or just YouTube, the images that came to me of anguish, of parents waiting outside a school for their child and hearing about this horrific situation that happened in their town and in their elementary school, elementary young children. This has to stop. We all have a part in this. I lost a daughter. I lost a daughter to suicide. She was 15 years old. So, an instantaneous death of your child just rips your heart out. There's no words. You feel like you cannot even breathe. You can't wrap your thoughts, your arms around this. This cannot be real. This cannot be happening to me. Here is my child in school. 2 days left for school to be out for the summer. And a teacher there, a teacher educating our children. Nowhere in the world is this happening like it is in our country. And to hear of these 18-year-olds with automatic weapons and going consciously to take lives and the lives of children and the parents of children, innocent people going about their day. It's horrific. It's on all of us. No laws are being passed. I live near Parkland. You hear the pleas from the students. They've witnessed this. They've been traumatized. How can our children feel safe going to school? How can our parents feel safe sending their children to school to get an education? This next generation, already having lived through 2 years of a pandemic situation, of a not normal childhood, to have somebody come in and just get gunned down because you exist. What is going on in our country? We're better than this. You cannot imagine the anguish of losing your child. It is hard enough having a disease, a car accident, something unprovoked, but a suicide, a mass shooting. Why? How? We all have to step up. We have to start talking. We have to save our children. It was about 30 years ago, I lived overseas following my former husband's job. And this was sort of a remote country. And they said, gosh, we hear these stories of your children being killed. Other cultures protect their children. Most do. I mean, there is child labor. There are horrific things around the world. And there is survival. But what is going on here? Many of you might have heard me speak out on parental alienation. A couple of years ago, I was in a talk, and there was a woman there that had been a police officer and had changed her career to be in a therapist in counseling and helping with teens and such, and gave statistics of divorced families, which our rates are so high. And now I think it's about 50% in Florida of children not having parents that have been married. So statistics show the criminality, the violence. They are being so often withheld from another parent, from being withheld from grandparents. These children are hurting. Why would 18-year-olds pick up guns and go shoot other children? There are underlying causes here. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts that is also an underlying cause, because our courts are not protecting our children. Our gun laws are not protecting our children. It is really a dire situation. We've got to care about our next generation. They are a legacy. They are born out of love and caring. They deserve better than this. How now the trajectory of such traumatized children How are they going to show up in their life? How are they going to parent? We've all got to stop. We've got to pay attention. We've got to give our children love. Our teens, things are acting out. Hurt people, and that's very trite. That's such a trite saying, it bothers me, but to make an impact. People that are happy, people that are loved, people that live in a society being cared for, and where guns are not available to unstable people in our youth so easily. It's a problem. Why aren't we solving it? We are an educated nation. And my mission is to save our children. I teach English as a second language to children overseas, young children. And this one little girl, I think she's 7. We do a lot of story writing. And she's very bright and very creative and imaginative. And she wanted to write a story about houses. And I know that with the Ukrainian war, the Russian war going on, I don't know in this country how much they know. I think they're shielded actually from a lot. But she started to create this story of how to get to this house that was hidden in the woods that nobody would know. And you had to go through a secret door, and you had to hike and pass by things, and in the forest you could find this door that led to a tunnel, and you had to walk very far that opened somewhere else to get to the house that was hidden in a treetop. So it was disguised and no one could know where they were. And I thought to myself, so different than any of the other stories or ideas or expressions that this young girl had. And I thought, how are our children being impacted by what's happening in the world? And this is just outrageous. And what does this show the world about our country? I've always been proud to be an American, but it's wearing thin. And to hear the talk, I mean, there have been people that have acted as if Sandy Hook didn't happen. You lose your child to a murdered, gunned down, and you have somebody professing that this is just a mirage. This really didn't happen. It was really staged. You know, do we have these lunatics ruling our country and having a voice? I don't understand it. Conspiracy theories. It's the destruction of our country. Let's start with our children. Let's do something. Let's solve something. Let's make something happen so that this doesn't happen again. And I'm done because my heart rips out for all those parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins. It impacts so many people. Little cousins that go, "Where's my cousin? Where's my sister? Where's my brother?" You have no idea the impact, no idea the ripple effect. It's massive. So let's start talking and let's start changing this scenario where this is one week, this population, another week, this population. We cannot walk around fear-based, scared to death to go to the supermarket, to go to school, or to go to a park. And I thank you for listening to me. I hope I made an impact because I'm one person, but at least I can speak to it because I know the pain and I feel their pain every time I hear of a child lost. I feel what it's like as a parent not to be able to save your child or to feel like you put them in a situation that wasn't safe. Even though that's not true, that's what our psyche, that's how we're wired to think. We're there to protect our children. And we as a nation need to protect our children. Thank you. I hope this starts a conversation.